Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Before I go too far, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who messaged, commented on the last video, the bricklaying fail video that I put up last week. So I've been given so many good ideas about how to build this gable up, which is exactly what we're going to do in today's video. Someone suggested using weep holes to prop up the gable, the oversailing corbel, which is a good idea. I only have one, and I don't really fancy going and buying a load just for the sake of doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compromise. I've got a load of this old, I think it's fascia soffit, a load of this old fascia, which is about 12mm. Now these beds are a little bit bigger than I'd like, so 12mm is probably perfect. I'm going to set that in there, and also we have some of this leftover soffit which is skinnier, so if I need that I can put that in there as well, and I'll put that in and stagger it up. I've also had a few people saying that it's probably the wrong design. I should have a 9-inch brickwork here coming out and then only step it out about 20mm on this side, and also people have said that you should only corbel it out in one direction and have it flush coming up one side. Yeah, but I see that on so many different houses. Like you see estates of houses and they've all got those sort of corbels on them. I want something that's a little bit different, a little bit more unique. If this idea that I'm going to go with doesn't work and it's just a no-go, then I'll go with that idea. But I've seen a double corbel out on both sides on quite a lot of old buildings, and I just think it's something that I want to do. I'm the first person to say I'm the best bricklayer in the world, so you should never think that you are the best bricklayer in the world. I've worked with a lot of bricklayers in my time, and some of them are absolutely fantastic. They are the best bricklayers I've ever seen. But even they say, always assume that there's someone out there that's better than you. Because if you think you're the best, then mate, you ain't ever going to progress. Because you make mistakes like this, and you learn from them, and you go forward. There's also something else he said: a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, a foolish man learns from his own. Now, I'm a foolish man because I learned from my own mistakes. I want all you guys to be the wise men and learn from my mistakes. I don't want you guys being foolish, I want you guys being wise. My mess up here is hopefully going to give you guys another lesson, or all those that didn't message me and tell me how to do it, or the guys that just a little bit umming and ahhing about it, learn from this, from my mistakes. It's alright, enough of me waffling on. Let's get on and get this thing built, eh? Right guys, so this is where I've got to. I'm not very happy with it really. Right, so we've got the corbel out this way, which is going out. I wanted it to stop here, but yeah, I tried tying it in with bricks going this way on the 9-inch, but this brick, they're just not the right size this way, so it stepped out again, and I didn't want it to step out. These beds are miles too big. The whole thing is sort of plopping this way a fraction. On the camera it actually looks alright, it doesn't look too bad, but when you come to the front you see how wonky that is. That's right on the wonk, that. It's not all that way. But this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to come out this way and this way, so when I come up here with the denture course, some people are asking me why I wanted to corbel it out two ways. It's because I wanted the denture course going up there to step out enough. But what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to take even more of your guys' advice. I'm going to take all this down. I'm going to take another brick out the bottom, because a lot of you are saying that I'm cobbling it over too much too quick, which I had a feeling that was the reason why it was not working. And again, it's stable, it's solid, but it's just a bit on the plonk. So, and it's hard work doing it. It's a real struggle to get it right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down another brick. I'm tempted to go with it 9-inch and just come out a bit, not a whole brick, just come out like half a brick. It's not going to be the look that I wanted in the ends, but it's probably going to actually work. Like, this works, but like, it's solid. It really is. I'm trying to shake it, and it's actually pretty solid. It's taken me so long just to do that. Well, twice, because I messed it up that first time, didn't I? So I'm going to redo it. I'm going to take it down and redo it. So I'll do that. I won't film it because I've already done the filming of me doing this. So I'm going to do a bit of YouTube magic and just do it. And there we go. Power of YouTube, and we have a corbel. A GABLE knee, I think they're called. Right, let's just walk you around it. This was what I wanted to do all along. And I've used bits of soffit and fascia to hold the little bits up that I needed to hold up. I've rubbed it up, but I haven't brushed it, so it's a little bit rough. This is kind of the idea I was trying to explain. I want it to step out this way so I can come up. I have realised I've put that in line with this, what's going to be a denture course. I'm going to start off with the denture course. So that one's coming off, and I'm going to put a cut in there to make sure it bonds right. But what I've done is I've come out 2, 4, 6, 80mm, and then we've come out up to here. This first stretcher has come out 10mm. This comes out, in fact I don't even know what that comes out, but then it steps between these two. And obviously with a denture course, this one's going to stick out, the one next to it's going to be flush, the one next to it's going to stick out, the one next to it's going to be flush. And that's pretty much the size of it. There it is, that side. I'm not going with this. I'm going to take it down again. But don't worry, I'm not going to put you through it all. I'm happy that I've done it, but this is what I'm going to be doing. Right, so I'm only going to be stepping it out 20mm the whole way up, all the way up to the top. This section I'm going to have stretcher bond going all the way up, but flush with the original brickwork, and then I'm going to have a dog tooth course coming out by about 10mm, and then an oversailing top course running all the way up flush with this, so that's going to be coming out about 20mm, and we're going to have that running all the way up, only coming out 20mm, not stepping it out a country mile all the way out here. And on this side we're just having it step out in line with the fascia. Now I know they're all headers, they're all stretchers, there's no headers in it. In hindsight I wish I put this one here as a stretcher rather than headers, but the reason I've done that is because these bricks, they vary so much in the width that it was so difficult getting stretchers going in here where it didn't come out all over the place on this side, so I wanted it flush up both sides. And at the top I could have probably put a cut in there and had the cut on this side, which I'm probably going to do those on all the rest of them, but it looked better, I agree. But in this case I just did it this just because those stretchers are so different that it's going to be knobbly on this side or knobbly on this side or a hole, or I just wanted it even all the way up. So throughout the whole of them they're going to have a straight joint all the way down here, all the way around all of the rest of them. But this top one, next ones I will cut that brick there in, but in this case I'm leaving it as is because this is now the 4th time I've built this GABLE knee, and this is how it's been, this is how it's staying. Right, so I think that was 4th time lucky I got right with this one, and yes, I know, before we start going, you were all very much correct. Step it out a little bit one way and just corbel it out the other way. I was being very stubborn about doing that. The trouble is, if someone tells me, there are a couple of people in the comments that said it can't be done, you can't do it. The trouble with me is, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to bloody well do it. Before I was a qualified bricklayer, I was an apprentice, and I was working with a guy and I had a bad back. I've had a bad back since I was 19. And he said, I went down to pick up a block and my back went, and I was like, oh bloody hell. And he looked at me and said, you'll never be a bricklayer, mate, you might as well just give it up. From then I persisted. I became a bricklayer, and then I did up my level 3 NVQ, passed that, and then I went on to win the the regional skill build competition. Came first. I was actually #1 apprentice bricklayer in the southeast of England. Take my hats off to that. I was in the newspapers and all sorts. So you say I can't do something, I'm going to bloody well do it. And what did I do? You said I couldn't do it. I did it. I'm just not going to keep it. It's stable. I could hang off that. I'm not going to, because it's probably still a little bit wet. The two main reasons why I'm not going to do this is, one, the sheer time it took me to build that. It took me all day to make that. Well, I did keep knocking it down. Yeah, it took me all day to do that. That one over there took me about 2 hours. So that's number one. Number two is the reason why I've seen this on a load of old buildings, I didn't really pay too much attention to the fact that all the old buildings I've looked on are a lot thicker than 4-inch brick. They're a lot thicker than one skin. They're either 9-inch or 13-inch brickwork, sometimes even stonework. And the reason why they had the double corbels is because atop of it they've got a lot more weight to hold it down. In this case, it's just got a couple of straps into the brickwork, a couple of ties into the brickwork. In 50 years or whatever, this is going to be an older house. It's still going to be here long after I'm gone. And this, as we all know in old buildings, mortar decays, mortar wears. And the last thing I want is, if this is too much weight leaning this way, last thing I want is just to come off, fall down, because there's a path underneath where we are, fall down and kill someone, which it possibly could happen. I'm thinking worst case scenario, but I'd rather think worst case scenario than any point. So I'm doing away with this. I know I probably could have just put these on all the corners. The amount of times I've built this, 4 times now I think, but I'm happy with the other one. And I know, yeah, I should have done it in the first place, but I'm stubborn and I wanted to prove not only to myself that I could do it, but some people said that I couldn't do it, so I've done it. I really think it looks good, but there's just not the weight above it to justify having it. So I'm going to go with the other one, the more simple one, and I can whip round and do it all. So I think we've had enough of corbels for one video, so I'm going to leave it there with you guys. I'll come back to you next video and I'll show you. I'll probably have all the rest of them built by next video, and I'll just go walk you around and show you exactly what they look like. And before we go, I'll leave you a time lapse of me building this one, and then I think that's enough. We've had enough time lapses of me doing gable knees. Leave a like down below if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you aren't already. Comment away, always love hearing them, and I will see you guys in the next video. So take care, see you later.